Hello, neighbor. Alicia Dolan here at Creating in My Corner. I hope that you are having a wonderful Sunday. I'm here with our weekly card class. And tonight we're actually going to case two cards that I used in my monthly in-person card class. So the first one is this cute one with the little truck. So we're going to case them, which means we're going to make a similar card, but we're not going to make this exact same card. And the second card is this cute little card with the pick of the patch pumpkin stamp set. So this is a fun fold card that we're going to make tonight. You can see my little post-it note inside. I made myself notes so that I would have all the measurements ready to show you tonight. Okay, and in just a minute, we are going to turn the camera around and we're going to get started. But I just wanted to tell you that we are going to use the Trucking Along stamp set and the Pick of the Patch stamp set and punch bundle. And I'm trying to see if anyone has joined us yet. And I'm trying to see. And so, but we're going to get started in just a minute. I need to set up my other camera because I did not have a chance to do that yet. So you will not see me for just a moment. Actually, you can see me if you want to. I'm just going to switch over to that other camera and make sure that it is lined up fairly right so that you won't hear all that crazy noise when I move everything around. Okay, I'm going to turn this off. You'll still hear me, but you won't see me just for a minute. And I'm going to try to get everything all set up the way it should be. Okay, and it's probably going to be close, but not quite right. Because I feel like that's how it goes. All right, hold on here. Okay, I think we're just about ready. I'm going to switch over to the other camera and you will see in just a minute where we are. Let's see. I'm still here. If you can hear me, I'm just turning over the other camera. Like I always say this, but I do feel like I'm always a little bit behind. Right. I'm trying to make sure too that the shadows aren't showing in the video. I'm always okay. So I think now that you can see what I'm doing down here and you can hear me. So, uh-oh, it looks a little fuzzy. I don't know if it looks fuzzy on your end or not. Hold on. Let me try to wipe my camera lens real quick and make sure that I am not too fuzzy. Maybe that's better. I don't know. Okay, here we are. So tonight's cards are uh, the ones that are going to be casing. Okay, so this is our first one. If you are stamping along with me, you'll need to get out your stamp set, whatever stamp set you've decided to use, as well as some cardstock and papers and inks. I don't usually move real fast, so you should be able to stamp along with me. And if you can't, you can always comment and let me know if you need me to slow down a little or pause or wait. I can do that. And of course, if you're watching later or you're watching on YouTube, you can speed up or slow down the camera anytime. I'm going to change my camera angle just one more time because I'm a little bit afraid that my head is going to get in the way since because of where I'm sitting. So hold on one second. I'm just going to turn the sound off so you don't hear the camera holder moving. Okay, I think that's a little better, but I am not sure. So if you're having a hard time seeing, just know that I'm really working on it. I just don't I probably need some help and I don't know exactly what to do or where to get the kind of help I need. Okay. So here we go. I'm going to scoot this over just a hair so that when I'm stamping it, it's kind of in the middle of what we're doing. Okay, and we're going to copy this card here. And the paper that I wanted to use, I want to switch this yellow lemon lolly out. And I really want to use this one horse open sleigh paper. So let's first pick out a piece of that. This paper is really pretty. If you haven't ordered it yet, you can get it online. And there are a lot of really pretty pieces. Now I have used this before, so you have probably seen it. And you've probably seen it in other demonstrators videos. It's a really popular paper. So I think the one I want to use is, I don't know, I think they're a little bit too pretty for this maybe. Okay, let's use this one. I really love these little trees. Okay, so this is the one that we're gonna make our yellow layer. So then let's do some basic gray for our card base. And let's see, basic gray for the card base. And maybe some crumb cake for behind the truck, or maybe some blue. Hold on, let's see. I feel like maybe the Lost Lagoon. Let's try that. Okay, so here we go. First, we're gonna take a piece of our basic gray, and this is a full 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock. And we're just gonna put it in here at 5.5 and cut it. And then we're going to turn it to the side and score it at 4 1/4. I don't see any comments tonight, and I hope that you can see me and hear me. And then we're going to take our bone folder and we're going to just press that crease a little bit. Okay, and then next we're going to cut our piece of designer series paper, and we're going to cut that 4 by 5 1/4. So there's 4 and then 5 1/4. Okay, and that is going to go just like this along the front. Our next piece, which is going to be Lost Lagoon. I really love this Lost Lagoon. Lost Lagoon and Pretty Peacock are probably my two new favorite colors, and they're not exactly blue, but they are close to blue. Okay, and this piece we are going to cut 2.5 by 5 1/4. So let's cut our 2.5 first. And then by 5 1/4. So that piece is going to go right on here. Like that. And then we need some white to stamp on. So our two white pieces are 1 3/4 by 3.5 and 3/4 by 3 1/8. Okay, so 1 3/4 by 3.5. Okay, that piece looks like it's about the right size. I have some of these little extras that I cut from my monthly card class from the in-person class, and I don't always use these up, but I really should. So I thought that tonight, since we were casing our cards, that would be a good way to use up those scraps. All right, and here is my Stampin' Pierce mat. And my Trucking Along stamp set. Okay, so first we are going to stamp our little truck on here. So we can use this stamp here. That I would call the outline of the truck. So it's this one right here that we're going to start with. And we're going to stamp in basic gray. So we're going to tap in our stamp. You do kind of press in just a little bit, but mostly you just want to tap that on the surface of your ink pad. And we're going to stamp our little truck right in the center, maybe a little bit closer to the bottom than the top. Okay, just like that. I'm going to clean my stamp. And while I have my basic gray out, I'm going to stamp the rest of the things that I need to be the same color. So I'm also going to stamp the tires onto my little truck. Okay, just like that. And clean my stamp. And then I want to stamp in the back of my little truck, I want to stamp a Christmas tree. And so here is my little Christmas tree outline. And I got to get this just a bit closer, you guys, to make sure that I'm getting that tree in there just right. Okay, and there is the outline of our little Christmas tree. Right, and we need one more thing with our basic gray before we switch over. I hope that you're having a good night tonight. If you ever get a chance to come to an in-person card class, I would really recommend it. We had such a fun time on Friday night. My next one is October 27th. So if you are in the area and you want to come to card class, just let me know. You can also sign up for my email, and then you'll get every time I schedule a card class, I try to make sure I send out an email with an RSVP link in it. My house is not huge, and so far I've limited my numbers to 6. So if you really want to come, I would suggest that you RSVP kind of early. And if I do get more than 6 people who RSVP, I would be happy to schedule a second day. So right now, October's card class will be on the 27th. I have not designed those cards yet, but that'll be one of the things I'm working on this week. Okay, now for our truck, we are gonna stamp it in Lost Lagoon. So it's gonna match our, should it match? Maybe it should not match. What if we make our truck a different color? Let's make a crumb cake truck. I think that'll be pretty with our with the colors that we have so far. So now we're going to grab the inside of our truck. I really hate that I cannot tell if anyone is watching or not. Okay, so here is the inside of the truck. That's actually this one right here. So if you're ever reading the direction that says inside or outside, that's kind of what I mean by that. So the inside would be the part that fills in the color, and the outside would be the outline. Okay, now we're gonna stamp that. Okay, and there is our little truck. Color gonna be okay. Oh, it doesn't look as pale as I thought it would, but it's okay. All right. And actually, it didn't even color all the spots I thought it would. Okay. It almost looks like mud splashed up on my truck, which would not, if I had a truck, that would not be an unusual occurrence, I think. I don't at this point, but I can tell you that my van is always a little dusty, a little dirty. I feel like I would love to be one of those clean car people, but I'm just not. It's not my thing. Okay, and now we need to color our little tree. And I think we'll do that in Lost Lagoon. So we will pick up this little inside tree image. And stamp that. Okay. There we go. So there's our little tree. I hope that you like when I kind of stamp on the fly. I'm kind of designing as we go and just trying to show you that things don't have to be perfect when you're stamping. You just really, people are going to appreciate that you made them something, I think, and they're not really going to care about whether it's perfect or not. What am I looking for? Oh, I need my sentiment. Okay. So on the other one, we did sending you sunny thoughts, but since on this one, we have a little Christmas tree, let's do wishing you a festive Christmas. And our piece of white here is 3/4 of an inch by, I think, 3 inches long. Let's look at directions. Yep, by 3 1/8. And we're going to stamp that in basic gray. Okay, and we're just going to stamp that right in the center of our piece of basic white. There we go. Someone told me before that if I only see one up at the top when I'm watching, there's like a little eye up in the corner there on Facebook. And if I only see a 1, that means that I'm the only one. But I always thought that meant there was at least one person watching me. So if you are watching and you know what that little 1 means, if you could comment, not even later after the video, I'm not sure if that means that I'm the only one who who has this on, or if someone else is watching. So if you know and you could tell me, I would appreciate it a lot. Okay, so next we're gonna glue this layer onto our card. And so I need to get out Mortimer, who is my special little glue helper. And we'll put a thin line of glue around the edge and then a squiggle down the middle. And I'm going to turn that over and glue that right in the center of the front of my card. Okay. Now I'm going to take my little truck stamped image. I'm going to do the same thing, put a little thin line of glue around the edge and a squiggle in the middle. And right here, I got a little too close to the edge. So I'm just going to use the tip of the glue to pull that glue back a little bit because I don't want it to ooze out of the side there. And then I'm going to put this one in the top corner, just like that. And for this one, we're going to add a little bow over here on the side. So are we going to? Yes, we are. Let me I just had to grab my twine here. That crumb cake did not dry as light as I thought it would. I thought it would be much lighter than that. And it's not. Oh, okay. So we're going to take this twine. This is actually from the Baker's Thread pack. So this is the crumb cake color. And we're just going to make a little bow. Oh, I pulled it tight a little too soon. All right, we got to try that again. Because I got it a little bit twisted. Okay. And if you do pull your bow a little too tight, these loops will twist up instead of laying a little bit flat. Okay, so here is our bow. And we're just going to snip that. Grab our glue dots. And we're going to put our bow right on there. And then peel it off and we can stick that right on our card. Just like that. When you're casing a card, don't be afraid to swap things out. So add a bow or change the paper or change the size of what you're stamping. You can do whatever you want to do. Okay, and we are going to put ours up on Stampin' Dimensionals. This one was flat. Was it flat? No, it was on Stampin' Dimensionals too. I must not have looked quite as closely as I thought I did before I decided to copy this card. All right, so now we've got Stampin' Dimensionals in all the corners, and we're going to set one in the middle because it's kind of a wide piece. Okay. So now we're going to try to center that. Not quite centered. I didn't push it down hard, so it wasn't too stuck yet. But once you push it down, it does tend to stick. All right, and then we're going to put our little wishing you a festive Christmas on. So we're going to turn that over and get some more Stampin' Dimensionals. You can probably tell I like to pop things up. I'm going to put the lid back on my glue real quick. It should be fine since it's sitting here with Mortimer, but I don't like to leave it open in case it starts to dry out. Okay, so now we're going to line this sentiment up in the opposite corner that we lined up our truck and sit it there just like that. And then we need some little gems. So I have some iridescent rhinestone basic jewels. I really like these, and I'm going to use my take your pick tool to grab some of these and put them on our card. So let's put some little ones here on our Christmas tree. And here's a medium size one. And then let's put a large one over here. Okay, so here is our first card that we cased tonight. Can you see how cute that is? It turned out really cute. And you can swap out the colors for anything you want. Here was the original card from the card class, and here's the one we cased. So that gives you an idea, like when you come to a class, you can go home and make more of the cards. You can swap out your stamp set, your paper, your gems, and make whatever your heart desires. All right, so let's move on to the second card we're going to case tonight. Now, this one is a lot of fun too. So this card used the Pick of the Patch pumpkin set. So we're going to make another cute pumpkin card using this Pick of the Patch set. All right, let me clean up my mess just a little bit here on the side. All right, so this paper is from the annual catalog, and it's I believe it's called Inked Botanicals, but some of it is very much fall oriented. So let's see. I feel like orange is a good fall color, but let's use these little leaves. Okay. And let me grab some paper. I think this time, I can't tell if that's pumpkin pie or Cajun crave. I think we're gonna go with Cajun crave. Okay. And maybe, no. Let's do pumpkin pie and maybe some daffodil delight. All right. Or this is not daffodil delight. That's crushed curry. Right. I'm not sure about that. Or maybe some berry vanilla. I don't know. Let's see. I'm struggling. Okay, so let's just start and we'll see what happens. Okay, so our piece of paper needs to be 5.5 by 8.5. And this time we are going to score it twice. So you're going to score it the first time at 4.25. And then you're going to score it again at 7.25. Okay, and now your card base looks like this. So you're going to fold it in half like that. We're going to press it with our bone folder. And then this piece right here where we scored the second time, we're going to fold it back like this. And then we're going to press that with our bone folder so it's nice and flat. Okay, now we're going to cut 2 pieces of our designer series paper that are 1 inch by 5.25. So there's 1, 2, and then we have to turn them and cut them at 5.25. Okay. Now these pieces, we are going to take our glue and add it around. This time we don't really have space for our squiggle down the middle. So we're just doing a thin line all around the edge. Okay. So we're going to take one of these and we're going to put that right on that outside fold. Okay. And the second one is actually going to go on the inside, right along the edge. Okay, so there's our 2 designer series paper pieces. So this is what we have so far. It's going to open like this. Okay. Next, we need I was going to use this piece, but I feel like I really kind of want this Ross Lagoon in there. Okay. I like that, and I can't tell you exactly why. All right, so now we've got our Lost Lagoon, and we are going to cut two pieces that are 2 3/4 by 5 1/4. So we're going to start here at 5 1/4. And then we're going to turn this sideways and we're going to cut it at 2 3/4. And we need two of these pieces. So there's the first one. And here is the second one. Now we're going to do things slightly different with each of these two pieces. So the first one we're going to emboss, and I will get my embossing machine and show you how to do that. So I have a big shot. Now this is going to make the table wiggle a little bit. So I'm going to try to move kind of slow so you can see what I'm doing. And if you have the Stampin' Cut and emboss machine, your process is going to be a little bit different than this. So I hate to tell you, don't pay attention, but don't, it doesn't work the same way. So your sandwich will be different than what I'm using here. And if you don't know what I mean by that and you need more help with sandwiches, then by all means, send me a message and I can help you with that. So first, I'm going to take my piece of paper that I want to emboss, and I'm going to mist it just a little bit with water on each side. Now, not everyone does this, and you don't have to, but I found that with my machine, it makes my image a little bit nicer. Okay, and then we're using this embossing folder. That's part of the 3D Basics embossing folders. There's actually 3 of them in the set. Okay, so we're just going to slide it in there. And okay, now this is the part where your machine might be different. So for my machine, I need this silicone rubber. And next comes my embossing folder with the paper inside. And you always want to put the fold into the machine first. Okay, because if you put it in the other way, it could break. And I've seen them break, and it's a sad, sad thing. Okay, now you're going to push it in till your handle starts to turn, and then you're going to crank it through. I'm trying to go really slow because my camera is hooked to my table today instead of where it's normally attached to a different table. Okay, and then when it comes out the other side, this is what you get. So if you look close, you can see all those little texture marks on your piece of paper. All right, so now I just have to move this back where it belongs. Its current home. Everything here is supposed to be finding a home to live in. Okay, so there is the first piece of that. Now next, for the inside piece, we're going to grab our stamp set and we're going to do a little stamping. And this could be different than maybe what you've seen before. So I really want to show you how to do this. It's kind of cool. Okay, so we're going to get 2 little pumpkins here that we're going to stamp. We're going to stamp this real short pumpkin and this kind of taller pumpkin. And then we have a little pumpkin stem. All right, and if you are stamping along, get out your Versamark because that is what we're going to do next. Now, Versamark is a watermark ink pad. And so what you're going to get with this is a watermark look. All right, let me see if I can zoom in just a little bit so that you can see exactly what I'm doing when I'm stamping. Okay. So we're going to take our little pumpkins and we're going to tap all around our Versamark ink. Oh, I really zoomed in, didn't I? Okay, and then we're going to stamp these little pumpkins all over our paper. So I'm going to start down here. And I'm just going to kind of stamp them in a little bit of a pattern. Okay, so there's our first little pumpkin. And then we can stamp the little stems. Okay, and then we're going to stamp our tall pumpkins. And I'm just kind of scattering them around. I don't really have a solid plan for these little pumpkins. I just want them to be on there someplace. So if you need them to be placed really specifically, then you might have to measure or use your Stamparatus or some other kind of stamping tool. Okay, so there are my pumpkins. I'm going to add a stem to these last ones here. So there's a stem. Oh, that was a little crooked. Okay, there's a stem for all the pumpkins, and I want to give a couple of them little leaves. So I can put that little stem away. And I'm going to grab a little leaf and I'm going to put that on my block. This teeny block that I'm using is Black Egg. And I feel like I could probably use a couple more of these because then I wouldn't have to swap it out when I'm doing all these little teeny leaves and things. Okay. Trying to see where that little leaf should go. And it was tricky. All right, so let's put a couple leaves on. And you're not really going to be able to see this one, I don't think. I'm just hanging off the edge. All right. So there is our piece with the pumpkins on it. All right, and we need to clean those off because we're going to be putting those back away. And again, that was with the Versamark ink. So that it's really cool. You don't always have to use a colored ink to add some dimension to your paper. All right, there are those. And then let me zoom back out. Okay. So now we're going to put these on our card. The little pumpkins are going to go on the inside. So just turn that over. Add your liquid glue. Uh-oh, seems like it's running out a little. Okay, and we're going to put this one on the inside. So we're just going to glue it right here. I think I like this color better than I would have liked the yellow. Okay, and then we're going to glue this one on the outside. Okay, so we're just going to line it up with that edge and then smooth it on down. Okay, and our card's going to open this way. So I'm not going to put anything on the back of this part here. Okay. And I have, let's see. I think this circle is smaller than the other one I had. I've got some circles here and they were cut out using the Stylish Shapes dies. This is the largest circle in the Stylish Shapes dies. Okay. And so on this, we are going to put some little pumpkins. But first, we have to stamp them. All right. Now, I do not have a full size Cajun Craze stamp set pad. I'm sure it surprises you that there are things I don't own because I really do love all of the Stampin' Up things. But you can only have so many things at a time. I've learned. Okay, let's put these. Well, no, we're going to need that. No, we're not going to need that little leaf or that stuff. All right, so we're going to put our little pumpkins away. There are a lot of different sizes of pumpkins in this set. And we're going to take out these little tiny dots because we're going to use those. We need this short pumpkin with rounded top. And we need this taller pumpkin with the rounded top. Okay. So next, what we're going to do is stamp 3 little pumpkins. All right, and we are going to stamp a Lost Lagoon pumpkin just because we are. Okay, so let's make our big pumpkin the Cajun Craze. So we're going to stamp all around on that. Now, because we're going to use the punch to punch this out, we need to figure out how to line it up on the paper. And the best way to do that is to open our punch. And we know that the paper is going to go in this way. So we're going to need to stamp our pumpkin this direction. So we're going to turn our paper and turn our pumpkin so that they match. I'm going to add a little more ink on my pumpkin, but I'm going to stamp it right here just like this. So I'm going to turn it over, add a little more ink because I can see a little spot where it's not quite shiny enough. Okay. And then I'm going to stamp it down right here. Okay. So now when I go to punch it out, I can line it up right in that spot for the pumpkin. And I always just press it down until that paper holds in there. So you line it up, press it down, and then you're going to squeeze it together. Okay, now some people like to punch out their pumpkins first and then stamp, but I find that for me, I really like to stamp first and then punch. So if you like to stamp first and then punch, then you'll want to do the same thing that I did. If you feel the other way, then you'll want to do it. It won't matter. You can punch out as many as you want and then stamp them. Okay, so next, let's see, that's my middle one. So now I need 2 little pumpkins. And here are my little ones. And I'm going to make one in pumpkin pie, but I'm going to stamp it off. So I need a little piece of scrap paper, which I have right over here. And this time I'm going to punch it this way. So I'm going to take my pumpkin pie ink pad, tap my stamp around. I'm going to stamp off on my scrap paper, puff a little, and then stamp over here. And then when I punch it out, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to line it up, squeeze really slow until I get it all lined up where I want, and then punch it out. Okay, so there's 2 of my pumpkins. I need 1 more because I have 3 pumpkins tonight. First, I need to clean off my stamp. Always, always clean off your stamp before you stamp in a different color ink. Because the last thing you want to do is be buying more ink pads just because your colors got mixed up. Okay, and now we're going to do our Lost Lagoon, and we're going to punch it kind of in the same way. I'm going to stamp off again. Puff and stamp. Oh, that one is really pale, but I like it. Okay. So now, oh, I should have stamped it the other way, but that's all right. Okay. So here are our 3 little pumpkins. We can close that up. All right, and we are going to use some crumb cake for their stems. So we're just going to take this little scrap of crumb cake and we're going to punch out 3 little stems. Okay. And then we're going to put these little stems down. And add a tiny dot of glue onto each one. So there's 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then we can just lay our little pumpkins on top of there. So they get glued onto their little stems. Just like that. Okay, now here's our circle. And we want our pumpkins to go kind of right here and here and here. Okay, so now we have those lined up and we want to stamp our little tiny dots. Okay. So our dots, I think we should stamp in Cajun Craze, but we're going to stamp them stamped off. So here is our piece of paper. Now we're just going to move our little pumpkins down a little bit so that we can get a good idea where we want to stamp our dots, because we want them to show behind our pumpkins. So here's our first one. Second one. And third one. Okay, so there are our little dots. These, by the way, are from my paper pumpkin kits. So if you're subscribed to Paper Pumpkin, every month you get a super cute box in the mail that has a monthly creative kit inside. Now, usually they are cards, but sometimes they're treat boxes, which usually happens around Halloween. So if you are looking for some really cute little treat boxes, you may want to subscribe to Paper Pumpkin. And they come, I have one here somewhere that I just got, but it's the Grateful kit. Okay, so now we're going to attach our little pumpkins. This one we're going to attach flat. So we're just going to put a little glue on. And we're going to put it just like this so that its little stem is in those dots. Okay, this one we're going to put on a dimensional. So we're just going to pop that right in the center. And it's going to go over here. Now this last one, we are going to put on 2 dimensionals. So we'll put one on and then put on the second. And the reason for that is I wanted each of the 3 pumpkins to be at a different level. So this one is flat, this one is raised up 1, and this one will be raised up too. And we're just going to put that one right in the center. Okay, now we can, let's see. Here's a piece, scrap piece. I have lots of these around. This one is a 1/2 inch strip. So when I cut lots of insides for cards, this is what I end up with. Okay, so this time, I'm gonna see if this one will fit on there. It says, "You're the pick of the patch." I think it's gonna be, let's see. I think it's just barely gonna fit. So let's see. We're gonna try it anyway. Okay. And let's use our Cajun Craze ink again, because then it'll all tie together. All right, so now we're gonna stamp this right here, as close to the center as we can. And it went off the top a little. Okay, let me try it one more time. Okay. Here we go. I gotta lower it down just a hair this time. Okay, there we go. And then we're gonna take our scissors and just trim that at an angle. And on the back, we're gonna put our Stampin' Dimensional, but we're gonna use the mini ones because this is a little skinnier than our other things we've attached. Okay, and then we can slide this just under the center of that big pumpkin and attach it just like that. And now we're going to put that right on the front of our card. So we're going to turn it over, and you guessed it, more dimensionals. So if you haven't noticed already, I do love using dimensionals. I'm pretty sure I said that once already. Okay. Okay, and we're gonna put that right in the center. Then we're gonna grab our little thread again. Where did I put my thread? My baker's twine. And this time we're gonna do a double bow. So we're gonna take and fold our, like the length of our twine in half. We're gonna make a loop on the one side, and we're gonna tie a bow just like we did before, except with our thread doubled over. So we're gonna pull it, not too tight because we don't want it to get all twisty. Okay, just like that. And then we can trim our ends. And we have a double bow. All right, so now we're going to use another mini glue dot. And we're just going to stick our bow right on top of it. Press it in. And then we can just peel it off and stick it right here on the front. Okay, now we've got one more thing that we really have to do. On the inside, we need a piece of white, and this piece is 2 7/8 by 5 1/4. And then we're going to take our, you guessed it, Cajun Craze again. Wherever I put it, I think I must have lost it just now. Did I put it away? Uh-oh. Where did it go? Okay. Are you seeing that? And I don't see it. I cannot tell where I put that. Oh, I found it. I set it way off to the side. Way, way, way. All right. So now we're going to do one more Cajun Craze pumpkin. And we're going to put them on the inside of our card. So I'm just going to put it right down here in the corner. And then I need the little stem. And we're going to make that crumb cake this time. Okay, so there's our stem. And to tie in our Lost Lagoon, we'll do a little Lost Lagoon leaf. Just like that. Okay, and now we're going to finish putting our card together. So we're going to turn this over and add our liquid glue. A thin line around the edge. And then a squiggle down the middle. Okay, and then we're going to attach that right on the inside, just like that. Okay, and then of course we need a few of our iridescent rhinestones. So we'll use our take your pick tool and we'll just add some pretty little rhinestones everywhere. Let's put one here. We'll put a larger one up here. We'll put one right here. And then maybe let's put a little one here and one down here at the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 5. That should be good, right? Okay, and now we have cased our second card for tonight. So this is the one that we copied. And here is the one that we made tonight. So I am I think that I will put up a little quiz about which one is your favorite. And if you comment, I will put your name in a drawing to enter some little goodies that I will mail to you. I hope that you've enjoyed our time together tonight. Here are the cards we worked on. So here's our second one. And here is the first one. So I hope this gives you some good ideas and inspires you to get in your craft mode and make some fun things this week. I will see you next Sunday. Happy stamping.